If you have an electric toothbrush, chances are you've been told to leave the charger plugged in all the time so that the battery stays topped up and ready to go. But then you might have also heard that leaving your phone charger plugged in and not connected to your phone is wasting electricity. So what is the truth? Does it cost a lot of money to leave your charger plugged in? Now it turns out that the answer depends on whether you're talking about a phone charger or a toothbrush charger, because it turns out that toothbrushes tend to have worse manners than phones. So first, let's talk about phone chargers. When a charger is plugged into the wall, but not connected to your phone, it's still using power, but very, very little. Most modern chargers use less than 0.1 watts when idle. That means if you leave your phone charger plugged into the wall for a whole year, it will only add about 1 minute onto your shower time in terms of electricity used. In other words, don't worry about the money. Leaving your phone charger plugged in all the time we aren't make any noticeable impact on your electricity bill. However, while we're talking about your phone charger, do you remember those ancient chargers that came with your first iPod or iPhone? Those wall warts are likely long gone, maybe even lost to a foreign country after accidentally taking them on vacation. But if you do still have one of those around, don't use it. Old chargers can use over 100 times more energy when idle, which could add up to several dollars a year on your electricity bill. Plus, some of these old chargers can also be a fire risk. That's according to the National Fire Protection Association, which notes that more than 790 fires have been linked to these old-style chargers since 2001. So it may be time to ditch that vintage tech to prevent a disaster and save a few precious pennies. And what about those cheap third-party chargers you can buy in bulk online? Well, they could also be risky. Fake chargers can use way more energy than they should. They can overheat and even pose a risk of explosion. That's because some components inside these chargers are just too darn big. Using materials that don't match up to the original parts makes these chargers inefficient, so you'll have to spend more time waiting for them to charge your phone. But even worse, all that extra energy they're using could cause them to overheat and break down, which would definitely ruin your day. So stick with chargers that are made for your particular device and are labeled with the appropriate safety certifications. But back to the original question. Do chargers get hot when plugged in, but not in use? Sometimes, it's normal for a charger to get a little warm to the touch. That's because a small amount of energy is always being lost as heat when it's plugged in. This is usually not a problem unless it starts feeling uncomfortably hot. However, if it's consistently getting warm or hot to the touch, it could be a sign that it's not working efficiently. As we mentioned before, this could be because you're reusing an old or low-quality charger, or because you've got something plugged into the same outlet. It might not be able to handle the combined electrical load. So try unplugging other nearby electronics and see if it makes a difference. Also, check your charger and its cord for signs of damage like cuts, tears, or exposed wires. If you notice any issues, replace the charger right away. So bottom line, should you unplug your charger when you're done charging? Yes, if you want to save every drop of electricity, but no need to panic. Your charger getting a little hot when it's plugged in but not in use is not the end of the world. But hey, if you learned something new today, hit the like button and share this with someone who's always plugging stuff in. Subscribe and join us every week for more fun, science, and text stories that will help you understand the world around you.